I'd like to share with everybody a fascinating story that I heard about Rabbi Yonah. Back in the day, when he wanted to write his first story, he had to ask permission for the king because it was not permissible to print svarim back in Europe. So he went to the king who he had a relationship with, and he said, "Your Highness, you know me, Chief Rabbi, I'd like to print one of my books as a commentary on the Talmud." He says, "Oh, Rabbi, you know I like you so much, but to write a commentary on the Talmud, it's not acceptable in our... Let me ask the priest." He says, "Your Highness, you know what the priest is going to say." He says, "I know, but I like you, but I got to go through the protocol. Let me do it. Let's see, we'll figure it out." Calls in the priest. "Yes, Your Majesty, so nice to see you. I have here the Chief Rabbi." "Yes, I know the Chief Rabbi. He would like to write his book as a commentary on the Talmud." He says, "On the Talmud? It's against the law." So the king says to the priest, "So please explain to me, why can't he write a commentary on the Talmud?" He says, "Because the Talmud says statements that make no sense." To which Rabbi Yonah piped up and says, "Well, can you share with us a passage from the Talmud that you've read, that you've learned, that doesn't make sense?" He says, "Sure." And the priest gets up. I guess the priests back then were Talmidei Chachomim. And he says, you have a verse in Brachos 56, Amud Beis, and it says like this: if a person has a dream, and in the dream he sees a pot, and it's on the stove, he should anticipate peace. To which the priest looks to the king and says, "What is a pot on the stove with the soup in it? What does that have to do with peace? It doesn't make sense. So you want to write a commentary on something like that?" To which the king looks to Rabbi Eibschitz and says, "What do you say?" He says, "Your Honor, that's one of my comments in the book, and I'll explain it. It'll make perfect sense." Yoreh Deah explains, he says, you know, the two greatest adversaries in the world is fire and water. Fire always wants to go up and ignite. Water always wants to go down and extinguish. How can they come together harmoniously? So you put a pot on the stove, the fire's from beneath, the water's from above, and guess what? They're both ingratiating one another. Getting heat from the bottom, it's boiling the water. Then you can add your vegetables, make a stew, make a cholent, make any type of goulash. They help one another. So if you dream and you see a pot on the stove, you should anticipate the concept of peace. The Rambam teaches us a very fascinating thing about science and Torah. And he says, if there's ever a conflict between Torah and science, what you really need to do is look deeper into both of them, and you'll see that the conflict subsides. They both can coexist. In the beginning of the Torah, it says, Bereshis bara Elokim et Shamayim v'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The word for heaven is called Shamayim. Rashi comments and quotes the Medrash that says, what does the word Shamayim mean? Sham, over there, Esh Umayim. There's fire and water. So we classically try to understand is that, okay, in the heavens, right, it's a place that's not bound by time, space, or matter. So the conflicts of fire and water can coexist. That's how we would look at it classically, philosophically. There's a deeper understanding than just a classical philosophical approach. And that is that if you look really into water, water has in it two of the most combustible gases. And if we comply and combine or we extract the molecules from a water molecule, then you will actually have a very potent hydrogen and oxygen molecule. And this machine that I have in front of me is called the Shamayim machine. Because Sham E Shamayim, I put in the top of this machine, I put water, and it goes through an electrolysis process, upon which in the front of it we have 1.5 pounds of hydrogen fuel. And as we are going to now illustrate, we plug it in and we resolve the conflict. You heard the machine just go on? Okay. Now that it's ignited, hydrogen is part of the challenges of hydrogen is that's an invisible fuel. It's very, very hard to see it, but it's very, very potent and exceptionally hot. This hydrogen fuel that's in front of us, that we're going to see, its potency, is made from water. Yeah, right here in Yeshiva's Yoreh Deah. This is what we're learning. We're learning the first pasuk in the Torah, how to extract, how the Shamayim, that represents heaven, which Chazal tell us means Eshu Mayim. Well, we have the water. Look at this. See this? This is hydrogen fuel. This is very, very hot, very potent. Not only that, we're working in the yeshiva to develop a machine strong enough that will produce the full circle of the hydrogen fuel, that will be able to re-inject the hydrogen fuel into a generator, make enough electricity to do the electrolysis. And as we're doing the electrolysis, we'll be able to capture 80% of the electricity for free. So here's the Shamayim machine. Here in Yeshiva's Yoreh Deah, Sha, Shin, Mem, Yud, and the Mem. Ow, that was hot. Shamayim. There's no conflict between science and Torah. That's something we all have to know. Good Shabbos.